Hello and welcome to One Called Mama. I am your host, Sam. Thank you for being here with me today. We are wrapping up season 7, It Matters by Kimberly DeShields Spencer. And I told y'all last week I wasn't sure how I was going to wrap this season up. I've actually been very anxious to sit down and record this episode because I think it's very important for me to share what the Lord is really driving home in me right now. Before I share that, I do want to take some quotes from this section of the book, the Final Thoughts section. And one in particular, I think is really important. And it's important for what we're going to talk about and what I'm going to share. She says, when you spend all your energy keeping up with what's popular, you risk neglecting what's powerful. Your ability to stay rooted in your voice, your values, and your vision. You risk building something that looks good on the outside, but feels empty when you're the one living it. She also says in this section that it's so important to not chase profit and success, but actual change and legacy. What are you doing to actually affect the change that you want to see in the world? And I know that that's a phrase and it's a very common one, but it's so true. What are we actually chasing? What are we going after? Is it coming from a place of wanting to help others and to make our spaces, the spaces that we're in, better? Or is it coming from a place of wanting to serve ourselves and what can we get? And in this too, I mean, I think it's really important to recognize that we have to be happy with the life that we're building. We have to want to live the life that we're building. We don't want to wear a facade and show up in a space that we don't even like and that doesn't feel honest and true to who we are right now. And I don't want this to sound like the new age thing that says live your truth. I by no means am supporting that. I think we live God's truth, and that's what we're called to do. And what is God calling us to do? It always boils down to that, right? I mean, that's the whole premise of this show is what is our calling? What is our purpose? What is he designed for us? What are we designed for? So, what has really come to the surface for me, and something that I've been aware of for years, but I never really gave a voice to, never really talked about or allowed myself to talk about it, um, always just in my mind consuming me. And I'm done with that. I've observed in my own life and in others that when we give voice to the things that we're feeling and experiencing, they lose their power and their hold on us. And so I know that it's important for me to share what I'm about to share. As I've been on this journey with the Lord and sought his will, sought his plan, I've changed as a person in good ways, not bad ways, in my opinion. I've become more dedicated. I've become more faithful. I've learned that life is not about me. It's not for me. It's way bigger than just living for myself. That I was a very selfish person. I was very self driven and self motivated. And even when we started our family, it was about what I wanted. I wanted kids. I wanted to be a mom. It wasn't about, is this a good decision for other reasons outside of myself? It was always about me. Marriage was about me. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have a husband and a relationship and all of that. It was always wrapped up in what I wanted. When I pursued my acting career, I did feel like the Lord was saying, this is the time. You need to get an agent. You need to sign up. You need to do all the things. And it felt like the right time. But again, I was always filtering it through what could I benefit from? Like, how could I succeed? And it was always about me. Okay. So as I've changed into a much better version of who I used to be, still a huge work in progress, make no mistake. I have had this fear in the back of my mind that people are going to believe that I'm a liar, that the life that I'm putting on display now is not a true version of who I am. And that's who they're going to continue to see. They're only going to see the person I was, not who I am now. And if they see who I am now, they're going to think I'm just putting on a front, that it's not genuine. And I've wrestled with this, especially when it comes to thinking about my family. People who have supported me and loved me through every phase of my life, thinking that they're the ones that are going to have these thoughts about me. So that I, therefore, am afraid to put anything out there that they are going to see or hear or read that is going to cause this belief about me. So I've been very careful about how I show up on social media, what I put out there. I've been very careful about what I say in certain circles around my family, around certain people. And I've finally realized that that is wrong. I do want to say that my family hasn't done anything to make me feel this way. This is something self imposed. Yes, I've had fights with my family. No, we don't always see eye to eye on things, but that has not ever caused them to treat me differently or to love me less. And that is at the crux of what I'm afraid of. I've also wrestled with thoughts and regrets about who I used to be when I was in college. And even when I came home from college and how I showed up in the world and knowing and remembering the kind of person that I was. I was very broken when I was in college because it was very hard on me and I did not like it. And it, it took me down a lot. When I came home from college, I entered the workforce. I found an amazing job and I was very blessed to have it. But I also know that I did not show up well in that space either. I gossiped. I lost my temper. I said things that I regret saying to other people. And I know that I hurt people in that space and I regret it. I regret it so much. And if I could go back and undo some of the things that I've done, I absolutely would do it. And I think about those people and if they saw who I am today, what they would actually think, because their experience of me was vastly different than me now. And as much as I wish I could change that and rewrite those parts of my story, I also know that they are very good reminders of what the Lord does in us and how he changes us and makes us better. And it's good to know and be reminded that our hearts are just inherently wicked. I have to look at those moments and not get caught up in the regret, not get caught up in the past, because I know that doesn't serve me well now. And I've prayed for God's forgiveness. I've prayed that he would make up for where I lacked in those moments and that he would cover it in his grace and mercy. And I know that there's not much else I can do. And I have to live with that. And I think we all, to some degree, have moments like that. So I share this for a couple of different reasons. Mainly, the way that I want to show up going forward as I do this podcast and other things that I'm stepping into, because there are other things that I haven't really shared yet that will be shared soon enough. I can't be filtering myself as I step into these spaces, and I refuse to. I am no longer going to be afraid of what people think of me. Will it be hard? Yes. Will I still have moments where that fear will try to creep in and I will maybe wrestle with some anxiety around it? Yes. I am human. It's not like it's just going to go away. But I refuse to give it power over my life and my decisions. And I refuse to change who I am and who the Lord is changing me into, because it might upset the people that I love and admire most in my life. Now, what I hope is that if something comes up and someone has a question or they're like, hey, I don't understand where this is coming from, I'm hoping that it'll just open up a conversation and if that's all that happens, then it's okay if we don't agree on everything. I have to learn and have had to teach myself that it's okay if the people that I love the most and I don't agree. I have to be okay with that because my approval doesn't come from family. It doesn't come from friends. It doesn't come from people of power in successful positions. It doesn't come from anyone else other than the Lord. And that is who I need to be seeking the favor of, not man. And there's a friend of mine, Melissa Flint. She's actually been on the show a couple of times now. She says, what is greater, the fear of man or the fear of the Lord? And I always want to fall into the category of the fear of the Lord, what he thinks, what he wants. And hopefully, if the ones that I love the most, the people that know me best, if they know me and they know my heart for the Lord, then even if they don't understand my choices, at least they would know and be able to trust my heart. And that if the Lord is guiding me into something, then there's a reason for it and they can trust him. So as I'm walking in this space, in these new spaces that I'm walking into, I encourage you, as I always want to do, that as you step into spaces that feel scary, that feel bigger than you, that you are worried might cause people to run away, leave you, reject you, that is unfortunately part of our calling. And we would never hope or want to believe that the people we love and that love us could fall into that category, and hopefully they won't. But Jesus was rejected by his own people. Jesus was rejected by his own family. There were his brothers that said they didn't believe he was the Messiah. And he suffered greatly, not just because of his crucifixion and his scourging and everything he went through. He suffered emotionally, he suffered mentally. His suffering was not just contained to the physical, it was in every way possible. He suffered for the truth. And we are very naive to believe that we are going to be excused or excluded from that same suffering. It's part of our journey as well. And we need to be ready for it and we need to be ready to accept it. It took me time to get to this place. Like I said, I've been carrying this around for a while. It was something that I just was aware of, but also wasn't. It wasn't on my radar, and it is now. And it will take whatever the time is to get through it for you, whatever it is for you. And it's okay. We all have to process things. As the Lord shows us things, he knows and understands that we'll need time to process the things that he shows us, the things that he calls us to do. And I kind of laughed to myself because when he first called me to start this show, even though I didn't know it was going to be this show when he told me, he just said, I want you to do a podcast. And when I say he said he wanted me to do a podcast, it wasn't like those were the exact words, but it was the conclusion I was coming to. Okay. Does he talk to me like in that straightforward of a way sometimes? Yes. But in that moment, I just understood that I was supposed to be doing things and that this was one of the things. And in that moment, I said, how can he ask that of me? How can you ask that of me, Lord? I don't understand. I don't understand how you can expect me to do this. And here I am 2 years later, and I'm doing it. And he knows what he asks us to do can feel in the moment like a lot. It can feel like a lot. And he knows that we're going to need some time to process it. And that's okay, as long as you're moving forward and you're working it out with him. That's what's important. Wrestling out your faith with the Lord is biblical, and it's to be expected. One final quote that I want to leave you with as we wrap up today's episode is: alignment will always outlast hustle, intention will always outlast trends, and authenticity will always outlast algorithms. Do not be afraid to build differently. I don't have anything to add to that. But I do want to share a couple of things that will be coming down the road when we come back for the next season. I I'm not exactly clear on how everything is going to look, but I can tell you that the seasons will more than likely be shorter. They will probably focus on a certain topic at a time. So, stay at home mom or building a nonprofit, what have you. It could be any topic, and I don't know what they're going to be yet. But they're probably going to be a lot shorter. So maybe 4 to 5 episodes, maybe six, but they're not going to be like a full 10 episodes per season. And I think the rhythm will still be pretty frequent. It might be that seasons might come quicker. So instead of like a month, like 4 weeks in between, it might be three, might be two, just depending on kind of how things flow. Another thing is that I'm working on some rebranding and updating things on my website. So you're going to be seeing new content rolling out there very soon. I'm hoping that as we step into the second quarter, I will have a good rhythm with that. So stay tuned, keep an eye on my website, and I will keep y'all updated on my social media platforms, mainly Facebook. I am on Instagram, but mainly Facebook. You will see some updates there as well. And I will keep y'all updated as much as possible when these things are rolling out. I am working on a very big project behind the scenes that I am not going to tell you about yet. But that project, I also hope to start end of second quarter. And then once I do, I might be ready to share sometime, maybe in late summer, what I'm doing. And that is very exciting. I'm very, very, very excited about that. I'm going to conference in April, April 8th, 9th, and 10th. So April 8th is an awards luncheon. I was nominated for an award from Behind Her Brand, the Artisan Award, and I'm very excited about that. I'm a little nervous, but that is on April 8th. And then the Behind Her Brand conference is April 9th and 10th. And so I will be in attendance there. We probably will be rolling out the next season, season 8, by around that time that the conference is going up. So it'll be a lot going on around that time, but that's going to be really exciting. And I'm not sure what next season is going to be about right now. We will just all find out together. But something very, very exciting on YouTube. If you are familiar with my YouTube channel over there, it's One Called Mama. I am launching a new podcast over there that for right now, time being, it will just live on YouTube. And it's called Coffee with a Catholic. And I am very excited to share this new podcast with you all. It should be airing this Friday. That is the goal. If it doesn't air this Friday, I will be very shocked. But the goal is to have it up this Friday. And I am very excited for y'all to tune in over there if you would like to learn more about things I'm learning and what God has been showing me behind the scenes that I have not talked about at all on this podcast. I would love to have you check that out over there. Me and my friend Karen are starting this together. And it is just basically two ladies talking about their faith and the differences and the similarities and what we believe and the truth. And it has been fun so far filming with her. This is a culmination of like 2.5 years of conversations between me and her and just talking, just being friends, just talking. This was just what we do. We send voice messages back and forth to each other and talk about different things. I've shared what the Lord shows me and the things that he sends me. And then she shares hers. And one day we just said, maybe we should start a podcast together. And it just felt right. So that's how this started. And we explain all that over there in the first episode. And I would love to see y'all there too. And because we're excited to get this going. So yeah, some exciting things happening. And I am really just loving what the Lord is doing and what he's showing me. And I'm so very grateful, so very thankful for the opportunities that he's allowed me. And I would covet your prayers as I do step into this, as Karen is doing this with me, just your prayers for protection over us, over our families. I have been feeling some some spiritual warfare, and the enemy has made it very plain he's not happy with this decision. And that means we're doing the right thing. So it's not going to stop us, but it would be lovely to have some prayers of protection over us. And I would say just keep them coming. And if we can pray for you, if I can pray for you, please also send me your prayer requests. I would love to hear from you. So you can email me at onecalledmama@gmail.com. Any comments or suggestions for future episodes? I would actually love some input. Please send me a Facebook message, email me. What would you like next season to be about? Season 8. What would you like us to talk about? I would love to line up some interviews and find out what is on your heart, what is on your mind, and let's just talk. Let's talk about what is truly affecting you right now in your life. What are those things that you would love someone to really just take apart, and look at, and really give a different perspective on? So please send me those emails, some of those private messages, and let me know what that would be. Like I said, check me out on YouTube, and you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. And thank you so much for being here today, and I will be seeing you in season 8. Stay tuned.